Steak and chips every Saturday, Sunday lunch.
I wish I'd have spoken to you earlier because I'd have really put all my effort into becoming a cricketer.
I'm only asking about your feet.
What size feet are you?
12.
Yeah. It's decent, actually. Tell us a little bit about the new podcast that you've got coming up.
Yeah, for the love of cricket with Joss Butler. Ultimately, love talking about cricket. And we want to share our knowledge that we've grown over a long period of time.
Stuart, hello. Welcome to Things People Do. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks for having me.
Joe, I think we need to start with a question to you, which is how much do you know about cricket?
Stuart, have you heard of a sport called stool ball?
No, I feel like you might have made it up.
So it's a sport that is using a bat that's shaped like a tennis racket, but it's made of wood, solid wood.
Okay.
And you have two of them, one at each stump, and the stump is a square that's raised to about head height of the participant.
Yeah.
And you have a small white ball that's quite hard. What's a cricket ball made of?
Like leather and...
It's made of that same stuff. And you bowl it underarm, and you have a boundary of rope that if you knock it past there, it's a 4 on the ground and a 6 above it.
Yeah.
And it's called stool ball, and it's only played in Kent and Sussex.
Right. And you're sort of a ex-pro of that?
I never turned pro in it.
No.
I wanted to, but it was quite a niche sport, so they didn't ever actually create a professional league in it. But the reason I bring stool ball up is because it's got a lot of similarities to cricket, I believe, and that is my knowledge of cricket.
Okay, that's it.
Through stool ball.
Have you watched any cricket?
Yes, I've watched the 100.
Yeah.
Took my boy to the 100 last year. Absolutely loved that. I always watch the Ashes because I fucking hate the Aussies, and I just love the rivalry between England and Australia on that lot.
Never played school, youngster?
I did quick cricket.
Yeah.
You know, with the plastic bat.
Your shape is not designed to be a fast bowler. You're quite wide, aren't you? It's like you need quick arm movement to go over the top. It feels like your arm movement wouldn't be that fast. That was good, isn't it? Good wrist. Oh, no, I won't say that.
Well, they used to call me at school Marler.
Okay.
Because
Good nickname.
of my ability to twist that ball.
Yeah.
Yeah, give it a good twist.
Give it a good twist.
He was a cricketer, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He was, yeah.
Yeah, I know a bit about cricket.
Leading wicket taker of all time from Sri Lanka.
Genuine.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Mullaratharan.
Told you I did. I know.
Yeah.
Hang on, was he the one that had the dodgy arm that they were like,
Yeah.
no, that was Malinga.
No, Malinga was like Malinga the slinger,
Yeah.
and Mullaratharan had.
Did they do tests on his arm saying that
they
his
did
elbow
tests.
wasn't straight enough?
Yeah, but it got proved that it was legal.
Why? Because
He couldn't physically straighten his arm, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So that's my knowledge of cricket, I'm afraid. But that's why we've got you on the show. We need to expand our knowledge of this wonderful sport.
Where, Stuart, do you think we should start with Joe's cricketing education? There's a lot of confusion potentially with cricket. The number of days it's played over, the number of different formats. What do you want to know, Joe?
Well,
what confuses you about cricket?
Why are there so many different? What is cricket?
Okay, that's quite basic.
No. Which one is cricket? Because there's so many. I hear ODI. I hear 2020.
ODI,
I
yeah.
hear 50. I hear
That's your ODI,
oh.
50. One day international is 50 overs.
Okay.
But that's between England and Australia, but then you have domestic 50 over cricket between Surrey and Nottinghamshire. So you've got Test match cricket, which is still classed as the pinnacle. You've got 50 over cricket, ODI, which is the same. T20 cricket, which is 20 overs per team.
Yeah.
And then 100 ball cricket, which is 100 balls per team, which you've been to.
Yeah, it's good.
So why is there so many formats? I don't know. But my view, if anyone loves any format, you're still a cricket fan.
Okay.
I'm going to help you out here, Joe. I think we should walk you through some of the confusing parts of cricket and try and make sense of them.
Okay.
So, Stuart, where should we start? The fact that you can play for 5 days and still not have a winner at the end of those 5 days.
That is the most confusing part of the game. You can play for 5 days, 11 till 6:30 p.m. every day, and draw.
What? And you're all right with that?
I'm not all right. I didn't say I was all right with it.
Oh.
It's painful, the draws. And actually, that's what we got a newish, couple of years old head coach, Brendan McCullum, Ben Stokes captain. They basically came in and said, get rid of the draw. In our changing room, the draw does not exist. We either win or we lose. We go hell for leather to win. And that's the best way to play it.
Oh. But,
Yeah, but
they
you can
didn't actually
draw.
get the rules changed to say we're getting rid of the draw.
No.
Their attitude to the game has changed that, meaning we don't draw.
We don't draw. And I think in, what have they been here now, start of 2023, I think they've drawn one game due to 2 whole days being rained off.
Oh.
So it's worked. It's worked. But yeah, that if I try and explain to anyone who doesn't follow cricket that I can draw after 5 days, they literally lose interest right there.
Do you ever celebrate a draw?
I reckon you could.
I have. Yeah.
Winning draw.
When you've been like 9 wickets down and you're hanging on for like an hour, like can't afford to lose a wicket, and you get through that hour, you do celebrate that because we play series, like 5-match series. If you could draw the first and stay in the series, you know, it keeps the series alive and keeps it moving.
You spoke about there about rained off days. Why can't you play cricket in the rain?
I think the ball, leather, cork, it expands. So that makes it difficult. The grass gets wet and slippy, which is not a great thing to say to a rugby player, particularly, is it?
Just bigger studs?
Bigger studs.
Yeah.
Because the pitch is much shorter grass, like, you know, talking 3 or 4 mil, the moisture in that pitch makes the ball behave differently off the pitch.
Okay.
So, bit of an unpopular opinion, but I used to quite enjoy rain because I got to drink tea when I should have been playing. And, you know, training, where you're out and then in the snow, like doing a scrum.
Yeah.
A drizzle of rain, they'll go, right, lads, training's off. And what do you mean? Go and get a massage and go home. All right.
A
So it's-
drizzle of rain.
You know, so there's quite big benefits to rain in cricket for a player. Certainly training sessions that you're a bit tired for.
I'm going to give you another reason, Joe, to fall in love with cricket. Beyond the fact that when it rains, you can go and have a massage.
Mm-hmm.
Cricket is a sport where halfway through the day's play, you can have a massive meal.
Yeah.
Not only that, but the meal, depending where you are, can be exceptional.
Although, hang on, I don't get it because they say, oh, they've stopped for tea. And I'm like, well, what is that? Because in my world, tea's just a cup of tea. Are you but then up north, I think it is, tea's dinner? No, tea's lunch.
Is true.
It confuses me.
It's evolved. So we get 2 breaks, actually.
Oh.
We get lunch, 40 minutes,
Okay.
where you get a full meal.
And that's at lunchtime, isn't it? That's like
1 till 1:40.
Okay.
But if, you know, we're all professionals. If you're bowling, you might sort of have a lighter lunch and get ready for the activity ahead. But if you're batting and I'm not batting yet, and I'm in my flip-flops, I tuck into a good old,
A full-blown meal.
full-blown meal.
Let's give Joe an example. Sorry, Marler Ethan. If Marler Ethan is playing for England at Lord's, Stuart, and
He's smiling.
Is that where that statue that cries blood is?
there's a different Lord's. In this case, Joe, let's say you are not going to be involved in the game, probably unless there's a collapse, for at least the next 3 or 4 hours.
Okay.
Stuart, give Marler Ethan an example of the sort of feast he might enjoy at Lord's.
Well, Lord's is certainly top 3 in the world for food. So you'd go up into the players' dining room. There's a chalkboard menu, and you have 3 options of starter, main, dessert, and then you have nibbles on the table of your bread and balsamic vinegar and prawns and sauce. So,
Sorry, this is all mid-match.
Mid-match, yeah.
Please continue.
1 till 1:40. You like cricket a bit more now, don't you?
Fucking love it.
So you go up and you might have, what would you have for starter? Maybe like a smoked salmon and smoked salmon salad or something. Then steak and chips sometimes. Steak and chips with whatever sauce, peppercorn, whatever you want.
Middle of a game, Joe.
Middle of a game, Bakewell tart, chocolate brownie comes your way.
Oh, fuck off.
So in my dad's era, he played in the 80s. You could have wine and beer then as well, but that disappeared by the time I got there. But it's the only ground where you get fizzy drinks and, Diet Cokes that you can have. The other grounds wouldn't have that, but Lord's is quite it's a special dining room, so they put on a show. But steak and chips every Saturday, Sunday lunch.
Well, I used to love my sport. I used to love playing rugby.
Yeah.
But I wish I'd have spoken to you earlier because I'd have really put all my effort into becoming a cricketer of any level.
Any level.
Any level.
Actually, the further you go down, the tees are better. You play.
How the fuck can you have a test match and go, my role today is to, what's the thing? Night watchman. That's the thing. That's at the end, isn't it?
That's when you try and survive a few balls at the end.
And usually they're the shit batter.
You're like a sacrificial lamb.
Yeah. There was a famous, hang on.
Jack Leach, are you going to say, aren't you?
I was going to go older.
Jimmy?
No, older. He had glasses on. He had glasses.
Jack Leach.
Maybe it was him then. It's the first option then.
Yeah, he's known as a good one, like a gritty one. Got stuck in.
But before that, you can have a ribeye, some triple cooked chips.
But that's 1
and a
to
cherry
140, and then 3:40 till 4, you come in, and when I first started, bit of cake, scones, cup of tea. Now it's protein shakes and refueling. But used to get sandwiches and cake at that time. But it's such a weird sport in a sense that so the first day you toss a coin, whether you're batting or bowling. And for me, I have situations. I used to be the opening bowler, so I bowl first. I'd be watching the two captains toss a coin, which you do in rugby for ends and stuff, who kicks off. But I'm watching that toss the coin. Either I'm going to go into one of the most high-pressured scenarios, bowling the first ball in front of 100,000 people at the MCG, or I'm walking off to make a cup of tea. And that is on the flip of a coin. So your emotions are a little bit all over the place at that stage. And, you're right.
Would there be any part of you that was relieved at going, oh, we're batting first because I really want to get this PG tips into me? Do you know what I mean?
Every time. Me and Jimmy Anderson would look at each other going, you're round, go on.
Brilliant.
You make it. Just to back up my career slightly or my profession, because we wear these, GPS things which you'd have worn throughout your career. Average, in Australia, I think average test match travelling for a bowler is 54k. And average day is 19k.
Is it?
When you're in the field, yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Yeah.
54k in one game.
In one
test
game.
match.
One test match, yeah.
Right, let's explain.
Even you're surprised at that.
I am,
Tom, and
yeah.
you're meant to be the fucking cricket expert.
But when you mention that day where you don't do anything, not even the strength and conditioning coach can get you and go, we're going to go and do something because you need to sort of save your energy. Does that make sense? You can't go, well, I can't go and do a weight session because I might be doing 20k tomorrow. So it's that you've got to just love that day. When you get that steak and chips in front of you, I'm in here.
Let's try and explain then how you could do 54k across 5 days. Let's try and break this 54k down. So if you're bowling, Stuart, how long was your approach?
About 25 yards.
Okay, so let's talk through that 25 yards. So obviously you have to get back to your marks. That's 25 yards of probably walking, except you will have finished your previous delivery halfway down the pitch, so more. And then talk Joe through the pace that you're coming in at and the number of times you might do that in a day.
I'd say it's an 80% sprint, so not full sprint, 80% sprint, 6 times in and over, say for ease 20 overs a day. And bear in mind that 90k's not all running. You can walk from fine leg to fine leg for an hour and you're covering a bit of ground.
Fine leg.
We'll get onto that. We'll get onto that.
Okay.
So fielding, you're on your feet. And it's weird, the fitness for it is bizarre because whatever you do in the gym, you do that first day and there'll be club cricketers listening to this, knowing exactly what I say. You do that first day in the field, having not done it for a while. The next morning, there's muscles that you didn't know existed hurt.
Really?
Yeah, for some reason, just because you're on your feet all day.
Are you not allowed a chair? What about one of those hunting
Shooting
perch?
I've seen in club cricket. I've seen the odd umpire sit on one of them.
Just had what's no the
shooting stick.
yeah,
Yeah,
no, I know,
stab
but
a
no, even better, the painted, the gold and silver ones you see in Covent Garden. You know, the floating man sometimes. Right, hang on. Because of the new studio, guys, I can actually show you what I'm talking about. This one, Tom, look at this one.
Yeah, but how did we were talking about cricket fielding positions. How have we gotten to it?
Yeah, no, and then
Away with that.
no, then go into can you have a chair? Can you have a shooting stool? But
And just
actually,
stand like that.
why don't you have a hidden one in one of your legs or one of your sleeves that actually takes all the pressure off your feet and just chill? Yeah, shooting it off. Fuck it off. Silver floating man. Yeah,
Those were your words.
Yeah, just ignore
I
that
think we should help Joe out with some fielding positions, Stuart. So the suggestion I have here, Joe, I'm going to name a fielding position. You describe to me what you think it might be, and then Stuart can tell you what it actually is, yeah?
Okay.
I know.
Okay. So your first one, point. You're pointing at me for people listening onto the podcast.
Point.
Where is point? What does point? What is point?
That's a tricky one. Point. So you're bowling in at the non-grassy bit.
At the batter.
You're bowling at the batter.
So it's a right-handed batter, doesn't matter with point, but where is that fielding position for the batter facing the bowler?
Directly behind the bowler.
Because
It is the point of reference for him to look at that. Is it?
I mean, you're smiling at me like with joyful hope.
Is it? Isn't
it's
that?
not.
Oh,
there.
fuck off!
And actually, I
you
don't-
gave me the
I-
eyes as if to go. Keep going. You've got it. You've got this.
I actually don't think that is a fielding position behind the bowler, is it necessarily? But
Missed a trick there. Then
it could
haven't
be
you?
called the marler
Oh,
behind the bowler.
yeah,
couldn't it?
good.
So point, if you're the batter facing the bowler, is directly sideways, basically in line with the stumps.
Why is it called point?
Because you could have backward point or.
it is a
Forward
good
point.
point about point.
To be honest, I think with all the cricket fielding positions, there's quite a lot of the why,
Oh,
isn't there?
okay.
With a lot of everything.
I think so, and I think that might be explained when I ask you, Joe, the following question: where or what is long on?
Long on.
Long on.
Long.
2 words: long and on.
So it's long
Mm-hmm.
and on side
Very good.
of the batter. So is he going across his body or over that way? Across, I don't know, on side. Across. So if the batter's right-handed, he's going from right to left. Long and on is the big fuck off one. Is that right?
Sort of bang on.
Really?
Sort of bang on. It's a bit straighter than you were aiming. It's sort of just past the bowler, long on. Where you were aiming is a thing called cow corner, but I don't want to ruin the next question. But, yeah, your logic was spot on.
Long and on.
Long and on.
Long and on. Fuck off over there, long and on. Who'd you put there, though? Do you put good fielders there?
Good.
Or
Quick.
They've got to be
Because
good.
the ball, because you're hitting with your power, the ball goes quicker that way.
Okay.
Marler Ethron, what or where is fine leg?
Fine leg.
Fine leg is also the same as long leg.
Fine leg and long leg.
Could you go and field at fine leg or long leg?
Where would you be going? Stuart's your captain.
Yeah.
He's just giving you a signal.
What's the long leg, fine leg signal? Just fuck off.
There's a clue in the
signal
gesture
for
there.
all of the fielding
All the field
you're there.
that way.
Oh, so it's long. It's like near long and on, but now at 3 o'clock on the clock.
So I'm just trying to work that out.
I'm facing the bowler, and 3
Yeah,
o'clock,
so you're the batter.
I'm the batter, and
Yeah.
it is right of me at 3 o'clock.
Think fine. Where would fine if the ball went fine? Where would it go?
Oh, am I hit it thinly?
You hit
And
it
it's gone
thinly.
directly behind me, long.
Long, fine
Long,
leg,
fine leg.
leg to the leg side,
So on my right hand side, if I'm a right batter.
other side.
On my left hand side, if I'm a right batter.
Batter.
Fucking hell.
Fine leg.
Why is it fine leg? Long. I get the long bit, but fine, because most shots are finely hit. Finely.
Finally, Finley.
Okay, fine. Next one.
I'm actually going to take a suggestion that Stuart made. I'm going to ask you where cow corner is. Cow corner.
Well, it's next to long and on because Stuart's already said that. Why the fuck's it called cow corner? Looks like a cow. No.
Again, do you know the reason why?
I've always thought it's because it would be where the cows were grazing.
Yes,
In a
that's
distant
how
part of the field, yeah, and if like a field beyond the cricket ground.
That's how I see it.
Well, hang on. The cows can fucking graze anywhere. Why have you just specifically chosen somewhere there to call it cow?
That's true.
That's a good
They
point as
could
well.
be at any point around the whole ground, couldn't they?
Yeah, okay, keep going.
Okay. I'll give
Quicker,
you one,
though.
I'll give you one more. Backward short leg.
But it's behind me, and it's just to catch the little ones that are about 4 or 5 foot off of where the wicket is.
Superb.
Is it?
Actually, to the letter of the law, you've said that.
Wow. Why do some fielders wear helmets and some
That's
don't?
your backward short leg because they're really close.
This is fascinating. I love this. I'm sorry if
And-
I'm boring you
No, but-
with
but-
like the
but
stupid questions,
with
but
these
they're
short-
not stupid to me.
The backward short leg is the most ridiculous fielding position because you think at top level sport, how would you choose your fielders? Well, they've got the best reactions. It's the youngest, which just seems ridiculous. Like if you're the most inexperienced or youngest, you're there because
What?
it's the worst place to field.
Why? Because it's so hard.
Because you're so close to the ball being hit, it's the worst place to field. So it's like whoever's first in or youngest, you field in there.
So where do you put the shittest fielder? Like where?
Long leg.
I'm a long leg.
I don't know if you are a long leg.
No, I think you could be a gully because you'd cover good ground, or a slip because you wouldn't have to move.
I'd like to be a slip or anywhere near the batter that
I think-
that within talking distance.
Right.
That's a really good point because wicket keepers are known as the talkative
Sledgers.
sledgers.
Okay.
What's the right way of wording this? Generally, wicket keepers can be a bit niggly and annoying. I'm not saying that that's you at all, but I feel like that would suit your style of cricket position.
I think like trash talk in sport was sort of originated from cricket. Is that right? Like,
I think it was probably got a good chance. I think because we're out there all day, so it's got more chance of bubbling, and also you get tired towards the end of the day where you're a bit grumpy, a bit short-tempered, and that's when things can go. But you know, I don't. Sledging's a weird word. I don't see it as like an aggressive intent a lot of the time. It's not an emotional response. For me, sledging was manipulating the batter's brain to think of something different. So then I can have the advantage of getting the batter out.
so would you sledge or would you get someone else to sledge on your behalf?
It's a bit of a one in all in.
Oh,
It can be a bit of a team discussion. Like Virat Kohli, he's just retired from Test cricket. You wouldn't say a word to him because you say one thing to him and that spikes him up, and he gets runs 100%. Kevin Peterson.
oh, he came to the forefront.
came to
like
the
with that. He enjoyed that. He relished it.
Kevin Peterson the same. I think opposition teams to him, you basically have to turn your back on players like that, so they feel like they want the competition. Whereas the best sledging to them is turn their back, pretend they're not even there. But then there's certain people who are really maybe intense in their brain, overthinkers, that you can then get their brain if they've got big routines that they do before each ball. Try and get in their routine, and that's I flipped the bails once on Marnus Labuschagne. That was all because he was so into his bubble of routine. I wanted to break that bubble.
You did what to his bails?
It's
No, that
quite
wasn't even a
quite
gag.
quite
Like,
a hard
what
one
have you
to-
done?
Quite a hard one to explain that one, really, isn't it?
You just flicked his bails.
Flipped, like I turned them over.
So the bales are the two little bits of wood that go on the top of the stump.
Yeah, yeah. No, I know that bit. Yeah, thank you.
It was my final game, not my final day, and it was at the Oval, England versus Australia, and it was a really slow morning, which can happen in Test match cricket. And there's a batter for Australia called Marnus Labuschagne, who's a real solid, takes up a lot of balls to score his runs. And he'd been batting for an hour and nothing was happening. It would have driven you mad. I was just quite bored out there. And I looked over and someone in the crowd, about 5 guys, got up and just left to go and get a coffee or a beer. And I thought, you know what, this isn't on. I knew that this was my last game, so I wanted everyone to have a good time.
Entertaining. Yeah.
So I thought, I'm going to try and I've noticed he's got the same routine after every ball and he'd face 60 odd. So I've watched it a lot. I'm going to walk up to him and just stand in the area that he's in. Just try and get him to look at me or say something different. Just basically get in his grill. And I walked up to him, and I felt like someone had told me that it was an Australian thing that if you flip the bails, it brought a change of luck. Now, I've spoken to like 25 Aussies since, and no one's ever heard of that. So I think I made it up in my brain. But I walked up to him, and he's looking at me. And I picked up both bails, which I've not really seen anyone do, have you? And I turned them, flipped them, and walked away. And he sort of said something to his opposition batter. And next ball, Mark Wood ran in, caught the edge, and Joe Root took an amazing catch at slip, so he's out. So I was like, cricket's a bit of a superstition. I was running around like, oh, it's because I moved the bails, which is nonsense. So
It's because why you did it, that childlike, I moved the
bails.
bails.
I moved the bails.
Yeah.
So that happened. And in our little huddle that you have after every wicket, everyone was like, Brody, that was your wicket, which obviously it wasn't, but I just broke his rhythm. And 2 days later, I've announced my stepping away from the game with my last ever time. And it was my last ever over. And I was having no luck again, just like beat the bat. And I turned around, I saw the stumps, and I sort of thought, fuck it, why not? And I flipped the bails again, to which the crowd sort of went, wee, like jokingly. And I ran in, which was my final ever ball, and took a wicket with that ball. So I'd flipped the bails twice.
I did the bails
And it was that again. So I ran off like an aeroplane. Like for 20 seconds, it's like scoring a try. 20 seconds after taking a wicket, you don't know what you're doing. You're just like charging around. And I was aeroplaning around and high-fiving. And then I think Zach Crawley ran over to me and was like, you did the bails again. I remembered, and my eyes went on stalks. I was like, I did the bails again. Which is absolutely, when I'm saying it out loud, it's absolute nonsense. But
in the moment.
It actually felt like there was a little bit of magic going on.
Did you not get in trouble? Like, why?
No.
Surely you're not allowed to touch the bails.
Well, no one had ever told me that. And I suppose no one had ever really done it. So, yeah, the umpires didn't tell me off. Or
does anyone do that now?
Well, a lot of parents for the months after that were disgusted with me that every time they were watching their kids play cricket, they were just changing the bails every ball. But I have seen it done. Like I saw Virat Kohli did it in Australia. I've seen a few county players flip the bails, and
you could become a verb. You could become a verb. People will look at it and go, "Someone's broaded the bails."
Yeah, start it here now.
Broaded the bails. Yeah, I like that.
Shall we, Joe? Because I know you're intrigued by the sledging, and you obviously enjoyed a little bit of that sort of stuff in your rugby career.
Well, I did enjoy it, but I always fucking got it wrong, didn't I?
Well, let's set up a little scenario here. I know you are Marler Retheran.
Yeah.
But would you mind, for the purpose of this being a batter, so you've come in...
I'm a batter.
You're a batter. You've come in late, you're sticking around, and you're starting to wind you up, Stuart. It's the end of a very long day. It's a hot day. You're looking at Marler Retheran and you're thinking, to be honest, mate, I should have got you out 4 or 5 overs ago. Yeah. So he's really...
Yeah, why didn't you then?
Here we go, it started.
So I'd work as a pair here. So I'd have Jimmy Anderson at the other end, who's a bit grumpier than me, can be a bit more direct with his language than me.
Oh, you shit cunt. Why are you so bad at batting?
Bit of that. Bit of that. But
I'm in it. I'm in it.
Whereas you in a scrum, we actually cover up. So we pretend to wipe our sweat with our sleeves, which covers your mouth, which then you say it.
Oh,
and then the cameras can't see you.
Touching it, you should have tried that.
Fucking hell, we should have known that.
That would have saved your
life. Come here, you cunt.
Yeah, a bit of that.
Oi, fucking helmet. Oh, you helmet boy, come here. Because they still know it's me. Because they go, why is he just putting his head in his shirt?
But it would be the ref who would tell you off, wouldn't it? Whereas we have people like watching TV cameras, hearing audio that would tell us off.
Oh, right, yeah.
So I would
give us a live example, Stuart. Let's imagine that Joe is batting, you're bowling. You've got the end of your
Marler Retheran.
Yeah.
So Marler Retheran's digging in.
Yeah.
I would start. I'd probably go in.
Oh, here we go.
Why are your feet doing that?
What do you mean? Why are my feet doing that?
Why are they moving differently?
Don't fucking worry about my feet.
I'm only asking about your feet.
What size feet are you?
12.
Yeah. It's decent, actually.
So then I try not to laugh, walk back. Because now I come at you 6 times, you see. Yeah. So bowl again, hopefully try and beat the bat. And then I'd manipulate the field, that
You keep
ball.
saying beat the bat.
Sorry,
What's
that means
the bat?
I bowl it, you try and hit it, and you miss it. So that's a 1-up for me, like I've beaten you,
Oh, okay.
but not got you out.
Okay.
So then the next ball, I'd engage a bit of word with you, get you thinking about technically. The next ball, I'd then move a fielder based around me giving you technical advice. So I go, square leg, come up, go into leg slip, because his feet are moving there. So I think he's going to glance it around the leg to the leg side.
Oh.
So then square leg comes up to leg slip. So you're now thinking,
I'm not.
What square
I'm not
leg?
going to do that.
But you're now thinking, why have they got a fielder there? So that's my aim. I might not be looking to bowl the ball there, but I'm trying to get your brain to go, why has a fielder gone there? So then I don't say anything that ball. I'm just
Oi, fuck nuts.
See,
Before you go, why have you put that square leg on there, you dick?
immediate fine for you. You get fined for that.
Do you get fined for swearing?
Oh yeah.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah. I got fined by my dad once.
Okay.
Sorry, but that's another story.
Oi,
So
cheese tits.
I wouldn't say that mid-over.
Okay.
But so this is me playing like a bit of a mindset game on you. But then if you started speaking back to me, my gully or slip is now having a go at you. So you've engaged me, but now you've engaged
you've got him.
them. You've engaged them.
Yeah, they're going, all right.
So now you've sort of lit the fire of everybody that they're coming after you. And do you remember it's 11 versus 2 and you're one of the 2.
Hang on, why have I lost 9 teammates?
Because they're having a cup of tea.
Fuckers, why can't...
They're out. They're having a brew. They're not bothered.
Oh, I'm fucked here then, aren't I?
That's how I'd want you to feel.
And then I'd probably like
So now I'd
start
probably
shrinking a little bit and stepping back because I'm intimidated.
Probably try and bowl you a bouncer at your head now.
Oh, you're body lining me, are you?
Body lining you.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'd lob. You do that.
Yeah.
What I'd say is, oi, Stu Beast, you do that one more time, mate. You'll see what happens.
I go, umpire can't call me that, can he?
Stu Beast.
Umpire can't.
Oi,
Oh.
umps. Stu Beast, what's wrong with that? That's just a nickname. If he bowls one of those body lines at me again, I'm lobbing the bat at his fucking Swede. Fair?
I mean, definitely fair has been said before.
Okay.
Not done. It's
Okay.
been done before. So that's how I would sledge. It's more of like, whereas Jimmy, without speaking out of turn or speaking for Jimmy, has got a bit more of a direct route of telling you you're not a very good player.
Yeah, the amount of detail and, I don't know, like tactical breakdown of your sledge attempt is fascinating.
To me, it's a bit of a psychological. I'm trying to melt you psychologically.
Yeah.
Really. Yeah.
I love that. Like it's a
Yeah.
game within a game.
And then, Joe, every time that you came up against Stuart, it would start again.
Yeah.
Particularly if he got you out, there'd be a bit of a send-off, wouldn't there, Stuart? So
Send off.
Marler is dismissed. And Stuart, I imagine, is not letting you leave the pitch without a little goodbye.
Yeah, it would be a celebration that involves running past Marler and a bit of eye contact
Just like that.
and saying pavilions that way.
Oh. What is the do
Like-
you know what steak they've got on the menu today? Is that okay?
I mean, that relaxes you, doesn't it? I'm out.
I'm out. Fuck it, though. I get some ribeye. Let's get some ribeye in me. Why is it though? Was there a period of time that sledging was, go for it? You can say what you want, do what you want, and then I can't remember when, but there was a time that it just sort of turned and went, look, enough's enough. We've got to stop this sledging. It's a slight on our sport. It's it's no good. Has that changed again?
So they put microphones in the stumps,
Yeah.
which stopped a lot of it
Yeah.
because everything you said could be heard.
Yeah.
And that's where you had to be careful, because then our hierarchy or the bosses then fine you for swearing and all that sort of thing. I actually had a moment against the Aussies at Lords where I sort of hit a bit of red mist. I don't know if you saw it, where Johnny Bairstow got run out, like the ball got rolled towards the stumps. He got run out when he just walked out his crease and he got sent off. And I was next into bat, and my emotions were just a little bit all over the place. And it was my last ever series. So I was like 37, but I just lost all control. And I forgot that stump mics were there, cameras were there. I was just in a battle with anyone wearing a green cap, and it was glorious. It was such a nice, like, I was red mist for 20 minutes, and then it was quite controlled for 2 hours.
Oh, nice.
How I saw it, because I ruffled the feathers quite nicely.
Mm.
But other than that, it's quite measured. Sledging, I would say I was quite measured, apart from that 20 minutes against Australia at Lords, which I'm quite embarrassed about now, but it was fun at the time.
Yeah. Joe, have you ever been hit by a cricket ball?
Pardon?
Have you ever been hit by a cricket ball?
No, I have done. I did like 1 over at my local cricket club a few years ago, and it was like a practice game. I've got the helmet on and the pads and that lot, and thought, yeah, I can do this. This will be fine. And they've come steaming in, and I didn't even see the ball. Like every fucking time, I didn't see it. I'm swinging and hitting air.
Yeah.
Didn't see it. Never hit me. Why is it? Is it bad? Is it bad? Is a ball hurts bad?
The thing is, I can't sit here with an ex-rugby player and say, "Oh, a little ball hurts," can I? When he's getting hit by trucks, but
Yeah, no, you
yeah,
can.
it
You
does.
definitely can.
There's certain spots that are well known to hurt more than others. Obviously, the box is quite painful. You wear a box over your bits, and if it hits that,
Over your bits,
it jars.
you get jarred in the
You get
bits.
jarred.
Okay, yeah,
Painfully. You
fair
can't
enough.
breathe for a bit.
Where's the worst? I'd imagine you've got gloves on that.
Fingers are all right. Fingers are
Fingers
all right. Ribs are very painful because they generally will crack when you get one good in the rib. And inner thigh. You got a fleshy bit on your inner thigh.
Yeah, but I've got
That-
loads of like, whoa.
That bruise is the worst. The inner thigh.
Okay, that's not good.
I also got hit in the face once, which was quite painful.
What?
Yeah,
Through your helmet?
through my helmet.
Let's talk about that, Stuart, because as you say, you're pretty well protected as a batter, but you went through something where you were hit and it actually did change your approach. And you were one of the very few people, because cricket is all about stiff upper lip to a certain extent, you were one of the few people who actually admitted that it affected you.
Yeah. Yeah. It. So what happened? I was playing against India. The ball was 92 or 93 miles an hour, and I got the tiniest top edge onto the ball.
Hang on. Just
So-
rewind a bit. Did you say 90 miles an hour?
Yeah. it was
How the
just a bit
fuck
of
are you seeing that ball?
I saw it quite closely that day, actually. bit too closely. So I got the tiniest top edge, which added loads of spin onto the ball. And in the helmet, you have a visor so you can see easily. But if you just hold the ball up to it, you can't fit it through. But adding the spin onto the ball went flush straight through between my peak and my grill, hit me flush onto the nose. And weirdly, like, it didn't hurt at all. It just, like, adrenaline took
Did it
over.
actually do anything? Because you've got a decent nose on you still.
Well, this was 11 years ago. It split me right down the middle, broke both cheekbones, broke my nose. And I just remember, like, looking down. And my first thought was, is that teeth? Like, what's happened there? Where are my teeth? I couldn't feel anything. And then it was actually Virat Kohli was first on the scene, like, put his arm around me and says, "You'll be all right, you'll be all right, you're okay." And it just clonked me properly, split me down the middle. I retired hurt, and off I went. But it's changed massively now. Concussion wasn't even a talking point, 2014. And I woke up the next day. I had to sleep upright. I woke up the next day and I had, like, my face was swollen. I went a game. This was the Monday. I had a game on the Friday, and it was just like, "So you good for Friday?" Yeah, I'll be all right for Friday. I just had like an ice mask over my cheeks, and I iced it for 4 days. Went out and played on the Friday, which wasn't enough time to really sort of soak into what happened. And then unfortunate events, but it was planned. I had my only ever surgery of my career on my knee. So you go through patellar tendonitis, got that done. So you put under and you have the rehab and painkillers or whatever to get over it. And honestly, it's the weirdest thing. For like 3 weeks after that, anytime I closed my eyes, this ball just hit me in the face. And then I didn't play cricket for 3 months. And by the time I came back to cricket, I was like, not sure I enjoy this batting that much anymore, to be honest. And it took me a bit of time to even really want to get stuck in training and practice. I must admit, by the end, I just saw it as, I'm going to try and change momentum of games and have a swing. Like have a. Luckily, I still had a decent enough hand-eye to make contact, but it definitely changed my, like, determination and grit, because I realised how much it can hurt.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, that's quite deep, but that was, yeah, quite a unique thing, because, you know, there's I can't think of many people that have worn one like I did in the face. Mike Gatting did in the 80s. Craig Keyswetter did for Somerset. But yeah, it was a nasty one.
Fucking hell.
Yeah.
Would there not have been a opportunity for you to still be the top bowler that you were, but go, I just won't bat?
Well, that would have been the dream, but
But you have to bat. Everyone has to bat.
Everyone has to bat. No matter of your ability, and it's not like the bowlers slow down for you. You know, they actually come harder at you because they want to finish the innings.
Yeah.
But I think it made my bowling better because I always could bat, and I got in the team as a bowler that could bat. When I was just a bowler that could make useful contributions, it meant that my bowling had to be awesome. So I think that helped me with that, I think.
Fucking hell.
Yeah.
That is a serious thing to have happen. It was a bit like when I got knocked out and forgot that I had kids.
Really?
That was a dark time. Got a big blow. It was Billy Vunapola's fucking hip. Out cold, gone, finally came to. And then the bits I can remember was the kit man coming in and going, all right, mate, how you doing? I was like, yeah, I'm all right. Yeah, I'm sweet now. He said, Doris here? I went, it's what he used to call Daisy. I was like, yeah, I think she's here. He said, oh, what about the kids? I went, what? He went, what about the kids? Has she brought the kids with her? And I went, what? Kids? And I shit you not, I completely forgot I had kids.
No way.
And just burst into tears, like, are you taking the piss? And then it was a scary moment. And I can sort of relate to you in the sense of, I don't know if I want to go back then.
Yeah.
If this is happening.
Yeah.
But you did. You had the determination to go back and then fucking do what you did for the rest of your career.
Yeah. Yeah. If I'd have been 35 when that happened, it might have been a different question.
Right.
As you would have knocked it on the head.
Well, you do just...
Could you have used a different turn of phrase?
Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't the greatest turn of phrase. Yeah, I don't know. Like, what was I, 25, 26 when that happened? So you're still in the mix of your career, aren't you? You're desperate to, like, get back on it and do well. But I think at 35, particularly with kids, you're probably thinking, is it worth it?
What's the strange thing about that, Joe? This is the way I picture it, at least, because shit, you've been hit and you felt the physical effects and the psychological effects. Equally, your job is to go out and, whilst you're not going to try and deliberately hurt an opposition batsman, you still want to put the shits up them. Definitely. You still want to scare them.
Yeah. Well, and when you bowl a bouncer, whatever anyone says, your aim to bowl a bouncer is to try and hit someone on the head. That's the aim of the ball. So if you're bowling it, you do everything with full commitment. You can't stand at the end of your mark and go, oh, I'm not trying to hit you, because that is the whole aim of doing it. So yeah, it's a really weird thing that I know the effects it has. Yeah, I still did it for 10 years trying to do it.
That was Eddie Jones' mantra in 2016. The tour of Australia, he labelled it the Body Line Tour, Ball Tour.
Yeah, Body Line, yeah.
And he spoke about the body line.
Yeah, Loud and Vos, wasn't it?
Something like that they want the England team to go down there and just fucking leather them. No matter how they went about it, they just wanted to leather them. I obviously pulled out that tour because I was like, fuck that. I'm not that mean. Do you know, I'm not going to do that. But is that still a thing? Like, do people still, like, purposely go about just trying to whack you with the ball as opposed to...
Yes. As a style, the body line, that was sort of late 20s. That was so unique because it was the first time it ever happened. And even up until the 80s, if I'm a bowler and you're a bowler, it was a bit of an agreement that I wouldn't try and hit you on the head.
Yeah.
But then that all changed in the 90s, and then it just became hell for leather, really. And it was actually the number one aim is to hit the other bowlers. So that's the biggest change in Test cricket that I've seen, and rightly so. You know, you're not playing for a cheese sandwich, are you? You're playing for your country, and you're in the mix of top level sport. But it's there's no friendliness.
Who are the most aggressive opposition? Which country are hardest to face?
Good question. The Aussies, because of the history and how much both countries buy into it. When you go to Australia, you're not just playing against 11 cricketers, it's the whole country wants you to lose and wants to get stuck into you. So they, as a collective, it's quite impressive how they managed to do it. You know, it's a tough place to tour. It's you feel like it's your little group against the whole country. competitor-wise, Dale Steyn just had this look in his eye that was
South African fast bowler.
South African fast bowler. Bowler of, we've got Jimmy, obviously the highest Test wicket taker, but he's a bit of a bowler of our generation. His record, his stats, but he had the look in his eye that he's a lovely man, like such a nice man. But
Yeah,
I
but
wish
don't they do that? I
No,
know
but-
loads of South Africans that are like some of the nicest blokes alive. You get them on the pitch, they rip your fucking head off.
He had a look in his eye that was just petrifying. Just. I wish I'd have known he was a nice man when I played against him, because he'd have been a little bit less scary. But wow, he was ferocious, really. Yeah.
Amazing. What about the best cricketer you've ever come up against? Like, not just the most intimidating, like the best cricketer
Ben
all
Stokes.
round. Ben Stokes.
Straight away.
Stokes. Yeah.
Really?
And bear in mind, I played with Freddie Flintoff, have the same sort of aura, like they can change a game on their own. But Stokesy, for his... I didn't play with Freddie in 05 when he was at his absolute peak, but I played with Stokesy throughout his whole career. I played in 19 at Headingley when he played one of the best knocks ever. Just for someone who, heart and soul, as a leader, you just like charge onto the field after him, loyal, driven, skillful, trains like you wouldn't believe, but great team man. Just someone who's got a real unique ability to soak up pressure and deliver.
I could sit for hours and listen to Stuart talk about cricket and learn. I just want to be this like giant round sponge that just soaks in all this cricket knowledge. But we can't, because you've got places to be that don't involve chatting shit with us. So I need to get in some questions before you do disappear.
Can I just ask Tom, who do you think won our sledge off? Marler Itheron, or
That's a very. I think.
without actually bowling a ball, it's hard to tell, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, you want to bowl a ball? do you?
No, I don't.
No, I bet you
No.
don't. Yeah, I tell you who fucking won. I did. 'Cause you don't want to fucking bowl another ball at me, because you know what'll happen to that ball. It'll either be fucking hit for six over the houses, or fucking at your ribs, you dick.
So I mean that makes
That
it,
went so well until you thought that you could bowl it at my ribs when you're batting, but that went really well.
Yeah,
That
well,
was-
who says I can't bowl at your
As I
ribs?
say, I think you would be the perfect wicketkeeper, because I think you'd really confuse the batter as well. They'd literally turn around going, "What are you going on about it?" He'd be like, well, "Your ribs, you'll know." All that.
I'm going to start taking up some new sports. I think
you should.
I'm going to join the local cricket club. Well, ask them first. Just go try out.
I think you'd be a good wicketkeeper actually.
Have
Like
I-
old school.
Have I told you my connection with cricket though? I'm actually, my namesake is, I want to get this right. Is there someone called Trent?
Could be, yeah.
Is there a place called Trent?
Trent Bridge.
I don't know. Anyway, I get emails from Trent Cricket AGM because there's a Joe Marler there who's the captain of the second team. And our email addresses are like just a couple of letters out. And he gets some of my emails and he started sending them over to me and forwarding things. I'd quite like to meet him. Maybe I'm going to do that. I'm going to go meet him.
Go and play for
cricket
Trent.
with him.
Trent
Whoever.
Seconds.
Trent
Yeah.
Seconds. Okay, we'll do that. What were you going to say?
I think you probably got a few more little questions, Joe. You were talking to me at lunchtime.
Well, I do
about-
have one main
Yes.
question that I want to get out of the way. You know, like when you bowl, you come steaming in and you're looking to get that little like nick, is
Yeah.
it? Little nick.
Mhm.
And you get that. Or you get, what's the other one when it hits your leg? LBW.
Yeah.
So you put your leg,
Leg before wicket.
Yeah. And then you all fucking jump around going, HOWZAT! Or HOWZAT? Why the fuck are you doing that?
It's a question to the umpire.
How's
As in,
that?
What's your how's that? Yeah, go up at the end.
How's that?
What's your decision on that? I suppose.
Well, you have to ask him.
Yeah, you have to ask the umpire whether they think it's out or not. You have to appeal, and I don't know why it is. How's that? Really?
Why-
I suppose it started as how is that?
How is that?
How is that?
Yeah.
Well, so if you don't say that,
If it's silent out there, there'll be.
he does, even if it's plumb, straight on his shin, hasn't touched the fucking
If you
bat.
don't appeal, it won't be given out. No.
Unless if you're talking about the little nick, there might be a rare occasion where the batter is such an honest individual or hates batting, wants to get the hell out of there, where they might just voluntarily walk off the pitch. Doesn't happen very often, although there is quite a lot of hypocrisy around that.
Hang on, there was someone.
Shouldn't happen.
There was someone that was it Stuart?
Mm-hmm.
I fucking know that. I think I know this one. There was someone that should have walked, that refused to walk.
No one should walk.
No, knowing
That is me though.
knowing that the other team didn't have a
Review.
left, so they couldn't. So it was like, do you want to? Was it you
It was me
against Australia?
At Trent Bridge. First Ashes Test 2013. So Aussies had no reviews. I'm not a walker. So a walker is, how I describe it is...
Coward.
Well, not so much. I'd have played with one walker out of however many people I played with out my whole career. One person who walks the whole time.
Do you still speak to them?
It was Graham Swan.
Oh,
And he was quite open to just
Unexpected walker.
unexpected walker.
Yeah.
His theory was he normally got caught in the inner ring
Yeah.
and he'd just walk off.
Yeah.
How I liken it to, in football, if you put a tackle in and you're not going to go, ref, give us a yellow card, eh? Give me a yellow card. Well, give me a red. That's a red card, isn't it? So you're questioning the umpire's decision. So my theory has always been, let the umpire make a decision. If someone gets hit on the shin, plumb, in front of all of them, the batter doesn't walk off if he's given not out. So why would you walk off if you get a little nick on the ball? That's my opinion on it.
it's quite a firm.
And I'm
opinion by the sounds of it.
competitive, so
Yeah.
I'm not just going to give it away. So yeah, I basically, how I saw it, I got a fine edge onto the ball and it hit the wicketkeeper's thumb and went to first slip. That then transpired to the majority of the public that I just hit the ball to first slip. Didn't walk. On camera, it looks really obvious. Really obvious.
It looked on camera, and I was at the ground. It looked like you hit the first slip. You couldn't see the deflection off the keeper.
And I didn't think anything of it. Honestly, I just touched gloves with Ian Bell at the other end. He went, "Did you nick that?" I went, "Yeah." All good. Cracked on. Batted for another 2 hours and got into the changing room. And the head coach came up to me and goes, "Oh, are you doing press tonight?" I was like, "Right." Which a player has to do it at the end of each night. I was like, "Right. So have you got your answer ready for your not walking?" I first time I'd ever clicked on. I was like, "What do you mean?" "Well, it's been a bit of a storm about you not walking." I said, "What? For what?" "Oh, the what? You're joking, are you? That's ridiculous." And when I did the press, and every question was about it, every question. So I thought, okay, that's gathering a bit of pace. And got home, and it was just Twitter in the day. Twitter had gone berserk on it. Everyone flying in from everywhere. And then it sort of quietened down a little bit, but it was a recurring theme. And then about 3 games later in the same series, the Aussie coach was doing a morning breakfast show in Australia, but he's in England, so it's an evening show. Don't know, rumour has it, not me saying it, but we might have had a couple of beers because it was that time of day. And he said something along the lines of, "I hope the Australian public send him home crying next time he's in Australia. That was blatant cheating." And then it erupted again, Aussie coach calls Broad blatant cheating.
The irony in Australia,
Yeah.
calling
To which
someone
I-
out for blatant cheating.
Aussies are very famous non-walkers. Very famous non-walkers. They are the only thing I walk for is a bus type thing. If I miss the bus, that's their saying. So I don't know why it became such a thing. But then I went to Australia and it was
Intense. And you relished that, did you?
I loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah. They had T-shirts printed, Stuart Broad's a shit bloke. And they were everywhere. Honestly, everywhere. Everywhere I went in Australia.
That's really mean.
Yeah.
He's a
You
shit-
like it at the same time,
He's a
don't you?
shit. He's a non-walker. He's a non-walker, but he's a decent bloke. I'll be out there defending him. He's
probably,
a decent bloke.
Probably cost too much on the printing. Stuart Broad's a decent. He's a non-walker, but he's a decent bloke.
Not a shit bloke.
Every picture of me in the paper was just a cut-out ghost. So, the team picture, I was just a ghost.
This is unbelievable.
Remarkable when you think about it.
You've trolled them on the back of that doing non-walking,
Yeah.
and they're now using all their time and energy in getting back at you, and you're just sitting there giggling.
I went down after about one spell at Brisbane. And Brisbane's what? The Gabba, have you played at the Gabba? It's like 45,000 maybe. I ran down to Fine Leg after about an hour's play. Honestly, 25,000 people stood up singing, Broadie's a wanker. It was the loudest thing I've ever heard. And I'd done a little bit of work leading into it about how to cope with it. And I just started being the conductor at the front. So I was like, there's more and more people.
went for it.
More and more people joining in. Honestly, for 3 days, all I could whistle was like crazy. But that went on for probably, so in Ashes it's 5 tests. That went on for 3 tests. And then they sort of thought, he's not rising to the bait anymore. Let's just give it up.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing. I don't know about you, Tom, but I could sit here and listen to Stuart for hours, but you have got to be somewhere. But before you go, tell us a little bit about the new podcast that you've got coming up with For the Love of Cricket, is it?
Yeah, For the Love of Cricket with Joss Butler, HOWZAT Butler, which is great. Ultimately love talking about cricket and moved into a space now where I've finished playing. Joss is still very successfully playing, and we want to share our knowledge that we've grown over a long period of time, talk about things that have helped us in the game, but also talk about current affairs and what's going on. And ultimately, since I've moved away from playing, I think you want to find things that you do with your mates, to be honest, to spend more time with your mates, and to be able to see Joss more, record a podcast and build a community that when you move out of a changing room, you do, we used to tour with 30 people with England. You move out of a changing room and you move away from that little community. I suppose with the podcast, you build a community of people that are engaged, are listening, are learning, and want to hear more about things you're doing and answer live questions, etc. So I think we want to build a community around that as well.
Amazing. I can't wait for that. Mate, honestly, you've been brilliant on here. Thank you so much. And good luck with everything with the love of cricket.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Top man.